Today, we will tell you a story about how a girl's father owed money to criminals because of card games and went to jail, hoping that he'd be forgotten, but he died and the debt passed on to his daughter. Katya lived with her mother in a country house located next to a small village near the largest forest in the Tiger region. Her father passed away, and neither she nor their mother left them money, which made them live in difficult circumstances. Katya, age 6, had many card games which her father had left for her, who suddenly missed home and never came back. The father used to make paper dolls at home and then go to the village to sell them to earn money. Although this work did not bring in much money, he loved and mastered it, which made the village children want to buy the toys that he made. One day, the father came running to the house while he was painting. Still, then he had a bag with some belongings and embraced his wife and told her that he would return soon. And then he hugged his daughter for a long time and kissed her, and then quickly left without telling them the reason for his fear and where he would go, which made the mother confused and remain worried about her husband. The father's absence lasted for 3 years, which made the mother work in order to take care of her daughter. As she planted vegetables and went to sell them in the village, she also cleaned the homes of some of the richest residents of the village. The mother was keen for her daughter to get everything she wanted, especially after she enrolled in school, as she bought her winter clothes and study tools to take to school. In the winter season, the mother's suffering increased, especially as the sources of income became scarce, and for this reason, she didn't have enough money to meet her or her daughter's needs. The mother was looking at her daughter and crying because she couldn't buy her everything she needed in the winter. But the two were happy with each other, and they spent most of their time at home playing and having fun in order to forget their suffering. One day, Katya came back from school shivering. Then her mother greeted her and sat her by the stove, then went to get her a warm drink from the kitchen. All of a sudden, the girl heard a knock on the door. Katya came running immediately to open the door, thinking it was her father, but she was surprised by 3 men standing at the door. The girl went and told her mother, who came immediately and asked the men why they'd come to her house. One of them told them that they were in prison with her husband, and told her that he had died in prison after suffering a health problem. The wife was shocked and started shedding tears, but after a moment she gathered her strength and asked these men why her husband was in prison and what was his relationship with them. The escaped prisoners told the mother that they were bringing her husband the paper which he used to make dolls. Every time he refused to pay for that paper and promised them that he would pay later. But he didn't fulfill his promise, and it remained that he owed a considerable amount of money. And they came to get this back because they just escaped from prison and they couldn't find anything to eat. The wife found herself in an embarrassing situation because she didn't have the money these men requested, and she wanted to ask them to come back another day, but these men refused to leave and insisted on taking the money. The woman kept looking at them and asked them to leave her house because she did not have the money. Then the 3 men asked her to bring them food and then they'd leave. So they sat near the stove waiting for food. The mother brought all the food in the kitchen and gave it to these men in hopes that they would leave her and her daughter in peace. But when they finished eating, they threatened her that they would kidnap her daughter if she did not give them the money. Then the mother started shivering because she could not imagine these men kidnapping the most precious thing she had in her life. Then she began to think of a plan to help her daughter. The mother told these thieves that she would send her daughter to a neighbor to bring the money, and then accompanied her daughter to the door. And then she asked her to run quickly towards the forest and not return home because these people wanted to harm her. When Katya moved away from the house, the mother started screaming and asked her to run quickly. Then the criminals who escaped from prison discovered that the girl was running away. They immediately got up and hit the mother, who was standing at the door, knocked her down, and started chasing the girl to arrest her and take her as a hostage. The girl continued running through the woods while these men followed her, while the mother put on her coat, closed the door of the house, and went running behind them to check on her daughter. The weather was less than -20 degrees, which made the mother very worried about her daughter, who had never gone to the forest alone. But darkness was about to descend, which made her fear increase. Katya was hearing the screams of the men following her, and her fear seemed to increase when she realized that they were approaching her. They were tracking her footprints in the snow, so she couldn't slip away and hide in the woods. Fortunately for the girl, she arrived at a place inside the forest with intertwining trees, which made her take advantage of her small body and penetrated into the middle of this jungle. Then the criminals became confused and were forced to spread out to search for her. Darkness fell, and the sound of wild animals inside the forest began to come out, which made the girl afraid, but she continued walking. And suddenly, a small village appeared not far from the forest. Then Katya felt very happy and ran quickly to reach it before the criminals found her. While the girl was walking among the trees, she found a large bear on the way, breastfeeding two of her pups. The girl was afraid that she'd come forward because the bear would attack and prey on her, but it remained firmly in place and did not move. She was in great trouble with this ferocious bear in front of her and the thieves behind her. With the passage of time, the girl started to feel very cold. She crouched on the ground. The bear approached her and kept smelling her scent. The girl was shivering with fear, but she calmed down a little when the little bears approached her and started playing with her. The huge bear showed no aggression, was calm, and watched the pups playing with Katya. Meanwhile, the girl heard the sound of feet approaching that place, and she realized that it was the three criminals who were pursuing her. Then, she hugged the three little bears, closed her eyes, and kept waiting. When the criminals approached Katya and tried to snatch her from among the little bears, the bear stood up from them and bore its fangs. The men did not give up and insisted on arresting the child because she would be the hostage which would enable them to make money. When one of them attacked and grabbed the girl by her hand to pull her out, she attacked and hit him hard. Then she hit his friends and kept circling around the children and the girl Katya. When the men tried to attack again, the bear confronted them fiercely and hit them hard, causing them wounds, and then expelled them immediately and pursued them in the forest until they completely disappeared, then returned to her cubs. In those moments, the mother arrived and was greeted by the forest guard, who found him on her way to her daughter's whereabouts, and was surprised by the situation in which her daughter was, as she found her lying between two small bears. When the girl saw her mother, she ran towards her and hugged her. The bear returned to her cubs and continued breastfeeding them. In contrast, the mother grabbed her daughter by the hand and returned home with the forest guard, who promised that he would file a complaint with the city police in order to arrest these thieves as soon as possible. On the way back, the mother noticed that the bear and her pups were following her, as if the bear wanted to reassure the condition of Katya. And when they arrived at the house, the bears returned. Since that day, the bear and her pups come to visit Katya at her home, where she'll receive the little ones in the yard, play with the little bears, and give them food. Days later, the mother learned that the three criminals had been arrested and sent back to prison.